I'm Eric Harley, and I'm honored to be with my friends from TA and Petro. They have a really great program. They've been doing this for years now, called the Citizen Driver Awards, where they honor a group of awesome drivers. In fact, we're going to do that right now as we have this year's winners of the Citizen Driver Awards. First up, we have Rowland Waldek. Rowland, how are you?
Not too bad, Eric. How are you?
I'm doing great, but I think you're doing better today. You're one of the new citizen drivers. How does that feel, by the way?
This is called being off the planet. I'm up there somewhere. I mean, it's surreal. It's such a wonderful feeling.
So give us some background, Rowland. How long have you been driving?
Since 1984, August 4th, I got my license.
Who do you drive for now?
I drive for FedEx Express.
Okay.
Out of Hartford, Connecticut.
Right. What got you into trucking?
Family. It's all about family.
Yeah, sure.
My family still own a trucking company in East Hartford, Connecticut.
Right.
My dad owned it, and brothers and sisters were working in it. And I'd get out of high school, ride my bike over to the family operation and washing trucks. And
wow.
That's where it all began, and my love for trucks.
So far, 1.9 million accident-free miles?
Yeah, still working on that. Still trying to build that. Trying to catch up to everybody else,
right.
you know?
Well, that's an interesting point, yeah, because so many multi-million drivers out there, especially as a part of the citizen driver program. We've seen so many of them that have, so many great records out there on the road. What would you say is the key to your success in terms of safety?
Knowing what's around you. Really.
Right.
I try to keep a safety bubble around me. That's the way I look at it.
Right.
I always scan my mirrors every 5 to 8 seconds.
Sure.
I'm always keeping a decent amount of room in front of me and always getting a big picture. It's all these things that you always hear.
Right.
Well, I'm trying to apply them every single day. And that's really what has helped me. And, of course, the main thing that a professional driver needs is patience.
Sure.
And that's something that just comes with age.
Well, yeah, I guess so. That's for me. I don't know how you drivers do it. I watch the interaction. I live in a large city, but I watch the interaction, and I'm thinking, don't do that, don't do that. And sure enough, here comes a small car over 2 lanes and has to make that exit, and cuts in front of a truck, and it's just, I don't know how y'all do it.
There's only one way to look at it.
Yeah.
That person will only be in your life for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Right.
Give them 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That person is gone. They get off an exit ramp.
Sure.
They're having a bad day. Don't make it
Right.
your bad day.
Right. Sure.
Their problem should not be yours. Right. Your problem is driving safely, period.
Yeah, sure. What else do you do when you're not on the road? Is that the answer right there?
Quite a bit. I also announce at Stafford Motor Speedway for actually a kart series.
Wow.
For Wild Thing Karts at Stafford Motor Speedway.
Wow, nice.
Where Mike Joy got his start,
Wow, right.
So do that. I was on the ground floor with Bo's Ride for the Bo's Ride when they developed that.
Right.
Been very busy. America's Road Team when I was on America's Road Team.
Right.
Wishes on Wheels Convoy. That's coming up September 15th.
Sure.
St. Jude's Charity Challenge, Northeast Charity Challenge.
Wow.
That's going to be September 9th.
So
it's busy.
So you got a lot of free time on your hands then.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Why is it so important to be involved with such great causes? I mean, you're driven, really to be there for those causes. What's behind that?
I guess I'm an addictive personality. I have an addictive personality. When I got involved with the truck driving championships back in 1996, I got addicted, so I had to keep doing it year after year.
Sure.
When I got involved with the truck convoys, my friend Keith Herzig, the founder,
Right.
said, will you give us a hand with this and help me out?
Right.
And 13 years of doing it, being the vice president, I could say I was addicted to it.
Sure, right.
And then the Northeast Charity Challenge is another truck driving championship, so it was easy to get involved with that.
Right.
But the number one thing is the year after our truck convoy for Make-A-Wish, we went to a Make-A-Wish event where they honored everybody who raised money for their charity for that year.
Wow.
So I was able to, we brought a truck, we figured we let the kids in the truck.
Yeah.
Weren't a lot of kids there, but one of them was running around. And then his father got up there, after everybody ate, his father got up there and explained what it was like for the family to go on to a dude ranch because his son wanted to be under the stars eating beans out of a tin cup.
Wow.
So Make-A-Wish, his father said, they could have sent us to New Hampshire, to a dude ranch, to Ohio,
Right,
where they
right.
have one.
Right.
Instead, they shipped us out to Colorado, where a huge Lincoln pulled up a limo with horns on the hood.
Wow.
It was
Nice.
spectacular.
Nice.
And, he said to get the family out of the hospital, away from the cancer treatments that his 5-year-old son was going through.
Yeah.
And now running around with jeans on and spurs, running around the hall while his dad's talking. It was amazing to see what it did for the family spirit and for the child himself. So talk about being addicted. Yeah, I'm hooked again. So anything I can do to help children, I'm there.
Yeah. Wow. I've seen this so often in the trucking industry where drivers just get involved. They just, and they really do. They don't hesitate ever when they're approached. If they can do it, they're going to do it, and then they're going to do it tenfold. Whatever you ask them, they're going to do it, and then some. And then they'll wait until everything's done and completed, the job is completed, and then say, if you need anything else, let me know. I mean, it's never ending.
It's getting the ball rolling. Now, when we first started this truck convoy, it was back in 2000.
Right.
And we didn't know how many people were going to show up. I never ran so hard in my life. We actually had 185 trucks show up. No trailers because it would plug up Connecticut.
Sure, right.
This is done right now in East Hartford, Connecticut.
Right.
So it was $20 to enter.
Yeah.
People are handing us $100 bills, and we said, let us get you to change. Oh, no, that's for the children. Keep it.
Wow.
And another individual, probably a month ahead of time, said, you know what? This is blue collar. How much money do you think you're going to raise? It was kind of an insult.
Yeah,
and
no joke.
That day, we raised $12,000 for Make-A-Wish.
Wow.
With 185 trucks that showed up.
Wow.
That was the first day. We actually broke a record. We actually made over 6 figures in one event on one day during one of these truck convoys. Yeah. Now we have over 600 trucks that show up at this truck convoy. Once again, no trailers, please.
Yeah, right.
Nothing would move,
No joke.
But
wow, that's great. This is what I love too about the Citizen Driver program is that I think it further promotes. I mean, I'm a judge, and so I get to see the dossiers. I get to see, I get to know you folks through those dossiers. But what I love about the program is that then other people, maybe mom and pop that aren't involved in trucking directly, get to hear these great stories because, I've said for years, somebody's out there writing a book or maybe a Netflix series even on how many great stories there are behind the wheel, the people behind the wheel. It's
absolutely amazing. The more people you meet, the more stories you hear.
Right.
And it's amazing what the trucking industry holds.
Yeah,
a lot of gems in the trucking industry. And behind every windshield is a human being.
Yeah, right.
And that human being has stories.
Yeah. So which is your location? Tell us about it. Do you know?
New Haven, Connecticut.
All right.
I actually have lunch there very often.
A TA or a Petro?
It's a TA.
Yeah. All right.
And not too big. It has 75 parking spots. It's not huge.
Right.
It's not extravagant.
Yeah.
But it's a TA. It's clean.
It's clean.
It's awesome.
Yes. Well
it's
taken
great
care
to
of.
The drivers.
They take care of the drivers.
Oh, they certainly do.
Yeah.
And the service people are always smiling. I love the people that work there. I mean, it was just a natural fit for me to choose that one, of course.
Wow. Well, a great prize package here that you folks already know about. You've got some great gift cards and some points, and those Ultra One points are going to be bonus to you and all that. But really, it's coming out here, being honored. In fact, tonight, right there at the Iowa 80 truck stop, you folks are going to be honored. What does that mean to you to have a company like TA and Petro, give you a pat on the back officially?
I'm used to competing in truck driving championships.
Right.
So I have to compete.
Yeah.
I have to win.
Right.
I have to put myself out there in a crowd of 2,000 people and drive the best that I can drive.
Right.
This was totally different. This was an outside organization honoring you. And that humbles me.
Yeah.
That truly humbles me. It touches my heart. It really does.
Yeah.
For TA Petro to do what they've done, they truly care about the drivers. Take a look at their truck stops. Take a look what they do for drivers. Their history is there. I mean, they really are fantastic people. I can never thank them enough. And I have to thank you for being that judge.
Well, you know, it's interesting because for me, there's no way I could say no because, you know, if you get an opportunity to be a part of that, you know, and then it hits you when you get, you know, the list and you get the dossiers and you take it very seriously because you have to. I mean, that's what it is all about. But it really hits you how serious it is. You know, I've judged truck shows, you know, and I've judged a lot of things in my radio career, chili cook-offs, and you know, which are awesome. But I mean, this just really took on it was a job, and I realized that the moment I got the dossiers, I was like, oh. You know, this is not something you just do in passing. It's not something you take lightly. So I'm happy that they include me every year, and very happy to announce you as one of this year's winners, Rowland. So thank you so much for being on with us today. We greatly appreciate it. And once again, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on, and let me know about the next chili cook-off.
I will. Maybe some ribs as well in there. I do rib challenges as well. Up next is Carol Nixon. Carol, welcome. How are you? Congratulations.
Thank you so much. How are you?
Thank you for being here. I'm doing very well. But like I told Rowland, I think you guys are having a better day than I am. It's been a lot of fun, I know. And then tonight you'll be honored live at the world's biggest truck stop, the Iowa 80. Tell us what it was like, you know, to find out that you were going to get the Citizen Driver Award from TA and Petro.
Pretty amazing. And actually, when I got the first phone call, I let it go to voicemail. This was before I didn't recognize the number,
Right.
And I got a little message saying that Julie nominated you, and I thought, oh, that's some kind of joke.
Right.
And so I sent a text message to her, and she's like, yes, yeah, I did. So then when it proceeded down later and I found out that I got it, I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, you know, that's interesting. I could see how someone would think it's a joke, this can't be.
Right.
And you've been driving how long now? 27 years, it says?
Yes. November will be 28 years. So I started in 1990.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Wow. Did you start when you were 10?
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
But
you just can't see the wrinkles.
you're a Walmart private fleet driver.
Correct.
Yeah. You've been with Walmart how long now?
September will be 6 years. So, yeah, about 5.5 years.
All right. I hear it's a great gig.
It is.
I know other Walmart drivers, and they say it's a great gig.
It is.
2.5 million accident-free miles. Rowland does. He's got some catching up. See, I was going to say you're going to have to take some time off or something to let him catch up. That I'm guessing that's not going to happen.
I used to work for FedEx Freight, and we used to get the miles.
I love it. I love it. You're from Buffalo, Missouri.
Correct.
And what got you interested in trucking?
My family.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, living at home, my grandparents had a sawmill. So my dad used to cut railroad ties and then truck them down the mountain to the rail yards. And
Right.
then uncles that ran log trucks, did a lot of logging.
Wow.
And I guess it was the stubbornness, the determination, bullheaded, everything, all that goes with my dad said you couldn't do it.
Oh, I can tell you as a father, that's the wrong thing to say.
My dad never learned that.
All three of my daughters would tell you, yeah, Dad, okay, fine.
Right.
They would have the exact same reaction.
Right.
I mean, especially because I'm in a logging business. That's,
Yeah.
you know, you're not just sitting around. That's working with your hands.
working.
Yeah,
You're
that's a
working.
job.
Yeah. So I actually worked in Alaska
Yeah.
when I was 19.
Wow.
And I came back off the crab boat. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And I did.
Did you say you were on a crab boat?
Yes, on a processor in
Wow.
Dutch Harbor, Alaska.
Wow.
I was on the MV Mr. B.
Wow.
And I was up there now it used to be longer seasons. I
Right,
was up
yeah.
there in January, and I didn't like flying. So I stayed an extra couple of weeks. And, of course, my daughter was 3 at the time, getting ready to turn 4, and I wanted to be back for her birthday.
Right.
And she stayed with my aunt while I was there. Anyway, I flew back, and I was scared to death. I didn't mind being out on the water, but
Right.
flying was not my thing.
Wow.
So.
There's a lot of people that would tell you, there's no way I would go out on the water, especially after seeing the TV shows about
right.
it. But
we didn't have that back then.
Yeah.
You didn't see all the horror stories.
Exactly.
You just knew it was hard work.
Exactly. Yeah. So, what is your key to safety? What do you think is? I mean, if you're talking to somebody who's new to the industry, what advice would you give them? Advice that you put to work every day?
Well, I would say just like with Rowland, what he's saying, you never get in a hurry.
Right.
Never get in a hurry. Always give that safe space. I'm always observing, looking. You're looking ahead. You're looking behind. You're looking to the side. You're always wanting to see and second guess what everybody else is doing. I never let myself get caught up in a bunch of traffic.
Right.
I'll pull off a ramp, wait a few minutes, and then get going again. My biggest thing is just leaving lots of space. Leave yourself an out. If you have an out, you're going to be a lot safer.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're driving on the ice, the snow, the dry ground, coming down the mountains, it doesn't matter. You need to give a lot of space.
Yeah. Just as a four-wheel driver, I used to, back in the day, I used to have to drive in morning drive, but I was going home. I wasn't late for work, so I didn't have to be in a hurry.
Right.
And I noticed when, because I'd heard other drivers say that, always give yourself some space, take your time, do it right.
Yes.
And with me, I learned that when I started slowing down, my attitude about driving changed. And then everybody else on the road was no longer my enemy.
Correct.
They were just other people on the road. And I realized, well, they're trying to get to work on time.
Yes.
All I need to do is get home in one piece. And it hit me. That's when it hit me. The folks from the Smith system used to be a block away from our old studios.
Yes.
And so we got to know those folks, and as I got to know drivers who were implementing, their training, that was something that was very, became real to me firsthand. Tell us about your life off the road.
I'm busy. So
To say the least.
I volunteer at a women's shelter, Safe to Sleep, in Springfield, Missouri.
Wow.
So it's for homeless women.
Yeah.
We make sure they have a safe place to sleep, to eat, to take a shower, and then a lot of them will go to work in the morning, or they go to the Veterans Center to where they can stay. I also do upholstery, and my husband and I have a dustless blasting business. So we restore old cars,
Wow.
carburetors, things like that. He does the carburetors, I do the blasting, and he does also. And a lot of my time is spent setting up events at Walmart for what we call our Walmart Heart events, where we honor children that have life-altering events or illnesses, cancer, in any range of an illness.
Right.
And we take them shopping, spend the day with them. We have a truck convoy. We have the police and the fire and everything, and the kids are like, it's just the best day I've ever had.
Yeah.
So it's just
Wow.
spending a lot of time and family.
Yeah.
You never, in my opinion, you can never have enough time with your family. You can't get it back.
Right.
So
Well, and that's the other thing, is that I don't think people outside the industry do realize how much you folks are on the road and away from family. I mean, the career takes you away from family, just naturally. So you learn to cherish. This is what my cousin always tells me. He said, when I'm home, I learn to really cherish that time.
Yep.
He tries to stay in shape and everything else, so he's not tired when he's off the road. He said, I have to really plan, and
Yes.
but you got to get every minute you can with family.
you need to be healthy,
Right.
to where you can spend that time with your family and not at doctors, getting
Yeah.
things taken
Right.
care of. And
Right.
yeah.
And enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Right. Tell us about your location.
North Bend, Washington, TA.
All right.
It is. It used to be a 76 station. It is the very first one I ever stopped at in 1990 when I started driving.
Wow.
It was in November,
Yeah.
snowing, and I was scared to death, thinking, "Oh my gosh, I have got to go over Snoqualmie Pass, and I don't know how to throw chains."
Wow. Yeah.
And
Right.
so luckily, I had a gentleman stop. Now today, in this day and age, I would say, please, Lord, do not let anybody stop. I'll call for help, because I have a
Right.
cell phone. We didn't have cell phones back then. At least I didn't.
Right.
So he stopped and he helped me, showed me how to throw chains. And he said, when you get down over the other side, I'll show you how to take them off and hang them correctly. And after that, I mean, I was so grateful, because then it was not a big deal.
Wow.
So
Well, we thank that driver wherever he is today,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
For being a citizen driver, and can't wait to see your name up on that location. I know you're going to take a lot of pictures like everybody else.
Yes.
So make sure that you share those on social media so we can get them out for you
Will
too.
do.
So
Thank you
so much. We love talking to you, Carol. Thank you so much. Next up is Ingrid Brown. Ingrid, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Eric?
Well, I'm doing great, but if I don't call you Half Pint, nobody's going to know who I'm talking to.
Oh, well, that's true.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
You and I have known each other for a while. It was really great seeing your dossier come through. And now you are one of the 2018 citizen drivers from TA Petro. What does that mean to you?
Sometimes I just really don't even know how to explain it yet.
Yeah.
I think it's still sinking in.
Right.
You know, when I look at these others sitting here with me that's made the 2018 citizen drivers, I see amazing what they've accomplished, what they've done.
Yeah.
And to know that I'm sitting here amongst them and that we're all an equal of that, it makes me feel like that maybe I have done something right in my career.
Yeah. You know, you've done a lot of things right in your career. And you've got a lot of friends out there on the road. We're going to talk about how they, help you out, and I'm sure you've helped them out plenty. But you've got 4 million accident-free miles. Wow. That's amazing. That's
Yes,
just
sir.
amazing. You started driving what year?
1979.
Wow. No joke. What was it that got you into trucking? What was that thing where you said, all right, this is what I want to do?
Well, my dad had the road construction company.
Okay.
Of course,
Right.
I started, running equipment and being the other boy that he didn't have probably. And, just learning to move equipment, asphalt tankers,
Yeah.
dump trucks,
Right.
all of that. Plus my grandfather, he started in 1940 hauling produce back to Pompano and stuff. And starting to travel and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not sure my mom was real tickled with it, and it took a while for her to get into that. But
Yeah.
that's exactly where my heart was.
You're an independent owner-operator.
Yes,
that
sir.
independent word is very important
Yes,
because,
sir.
you're out there on your own, essentially. You've got a great business. You built this business yourself. What is that like? How does it feel to, in 2018 to be, some might say, one of the last true independents? But to be an independent owner-operator, what is that like on a daily basis?
Coming up from the past and through the years, that's all we were to begin with for
Right.
so many years back. And coming up through that today, we've lost so many of those, and so many have gotten out of the industry or anything
Sure.
else.
Because it's scary.
It
it's
is. You're taking
Yeah.
such a challenge and such a risk.
Right.
It's a big
Right.
risk, and
Yeah.
it's even more so today. I've been blessed today for the fact that I pretty much have kind of sat back and kind of cruising along a little bit, well, a whole lot. I'm working with Rabbit River Transport out of Holland, Michigan.
Yeah.
Working and have been with them for a couple of years,
Yeah.
and pulling boar's head meat and,
Right.
and that kind of thing. So, I've gotten settled. I've got my niche. Of course, you know me, Eric. I've hauled pretty much a little bit from everything from cows to owning a flatbed to,
Right.
bulk tankers. I've tried it all just because
Right.
I love the variety. But
Right.
being a woman in it is another avenue that there's very few of us that still exist.
Yeah.
And it's nice. It's
Right.
wonderful to see the new ones come out and decide to take that step forward. Because what I do is not special at all, and it's not anything that anybody else can't do. Anybody can be an independent. The thing is it just takes a whole lot more work, and it takes a whole lot more dedication.
Yeah, sure. You've been active with women in trucking and other organizations, getting that word out with, again, shining some light on the positive aspects of trucking. So if you were to talk to, maybe a classroom full of young women, what's that advice if they were looking at that as a career? What would you tell them? 3 things, 2 things, 1 thing that you must remember or take heed? What would you say?
my whole life is about mentoring. My whole life is about trying to give back what's been given to me.
Right.
Because I've been given so much.
Yeah.
And to give back to them would be the first and the foremost thing would be there's nothing you can't do.
Right.
There's nothing that you can't accomplish.
Yeah.
There's not anybody that sits there that can't. All you got to do is just reach out. And there's people like me, Carol, Rowland, Danny, Jenny, all
Right.
of us that are there to help.
Yeah, sure.
Just reach out. Also is, really it's our job now to pass down and pass along to them. And I guess the biggest thing is to share every positive thing so that they understand what they're going into, the areas they can go into.
Right.
And explain that this is a success story for them.
Yeah,
All
sure.
they just have to do is step up.
Yep, you're right. So you've built a whole league of friends out there in the industry. Everybody knows you. You went through some health issues.
Yes, sir.
But you didn't really stop much. I mean, you didn't slow down. And that's, if anybody who knows you, they're going to, and you say that to them, they're going to go, yeah, right, of course. Like a well-duh moment, Captain Obvious moment. You and I ran into each other at an event about a year ago, but I saw it. I saw those other drivers and how they knew you and interacted with you and everything else. What's that like to have that legion of friends out there on the road?
I can't say thank you enough. You're going to make me cry. Last year, a year ago, when I spoke with you, I had just found out 2 days before that I had melanoma cancer.
Yeah.
And not only the time before that, because I had people all over this country that I have met and known and become new friends with and everything. But, it's been amazing, the rally. It's been amazing, the support.
Yeah.
I've not tried to hold back of keeping anything from anybody because it's me being able to share my journey and to pass along to hopefully help someone else in this.
Yeah.
This one right here sitting to my right, Carol, has done something exceptionally within this. And this is the type of people that I have in my life. When Carol found out about all this, she surprised me at Matt's, which I wasn't able to attend. I just had another surgery here 2.5 weeks ago. And she has designed and started selling T-shirts with I Be Strong on them. Wow. Of course, with the Peterbilt logo. But, these are the type of people that, how do you say thank you, but you still feel like maybe that thank you needs to be a whole lot more.
Right.
So my friendships are just, I thank everybody.
Yeah. Well, it's so humbling, to be able to talk to citizen drivers every year, with the TA Petro program. But I mean, to get to know you folks more through that. And it really is humbling because you always measure, okay, what kind of person have I been? What have I done to give back? What have I done to, make the world a better place? And just as you start to pat yourself on the back, you start reading through the dossiers going, wow, I have lots of work to do, and knowing your story out there, there's no doubt in my mind that you are certainly worthy of this Citizen Driver Award. No doubt at all. By the way, you served in the Marines for 2 years?
Yes, sir. Sure did.
Wow. Hoorah.
Thank you, sir.
You served about the time my brother served. He was
sir.
at Pendleton about that time. It was in the early 80s. He might have been done before you, maybe 80 or 81. I think he was at Pendleton. But what was that like?
Oh, that was a blast. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I think everybody should have to go. I mean, I know most people are going to probably frown upon me saying that, but the self-discipline was the greatest gift that they gave me.
Yeah.
The discipline to be able to work amongst people that you don't know and to learn to trust them.
Sure.
That played a huge part in the trucking industry.
Sure.
It literally can be, paralleled due to the fact that you have to depend upon somebody. You have to learn to work together. Yeah. And what an honor.
Wow. You know, it's we thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
And we thank you for being out there on the road and mentoring and doing everything you do for this industry. Tell us about your location.
My location is the Petro in Oklahoma City.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
Not too far from my place, just a few hours drive. So I'll have to stop through when I'm going through.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. I chose there. Everybody's like, well, that's way far away from the Blue Ridge Mountains over yonder. And I'm like, well, yeah, but there's a reason for it.
And what is that reason?
It's a hub for me. It's one that, all my years running to California
Yeah.
or running from Michigan now down, it's a hub. That's where I
Yeah.
always stop and
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
But besides that, last year I joined, and I was asked to join a group of farmers and ranchers and become part of the Michigan Wildfire Relief Convoy. 21 trucks. We took hay and supplies to everyone, to those in Oklahoma and Meade, Kansas. We did the calf orphanage.
Right.
And we went to the ranchers' homes and developed such a strong bond, not with just 21 people that I didn't have a clue who they really most were when I left Michigan with them,
Yeah.
but the people that we were going to their homes that weren't there anymore. That are still now very close and dear to me. And maybe it's my big thing is that's a part of me that I can give back, and it's my respect for them of saying thank you for being there in Oklahoma and being
Wow.
there.
Wow, that's just terrific. Again, so great seeing you here.
Thank you.
And so great hearing that you were one of the winners, and just terrific. Job well done, and we're going to get to Oklahoma City soon and see that location. Ingrid Half Pint Brown, thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Eric.
it, Half Pint. Thank you.
Do we really have to follow Ingrid?
No, I don't think so.
Can't we move back to the beginning?
We can take a pause. You know what it is? I'll tell you. And that's the voice you're hearing is Danny George. He and his wife Cindy also being honored here through the TA Petro Citizen Driver Awards, and it is a hard act to follow, but you folks do it very well. Tell us about Danny. Tell us about your time in trucking. How long have you been trucking?
I started in 1988.
Yeah.
So it's been just about 30 years.
Okay, and in fact, you have been partnered with Danny for 29 years as a team.
That's right.
Wow.
I started the same year he did, but after 1 year we started driving together.
That's interesting. I don't know what my wife would say if I proposed that idea. I'm thinking she'd say, maybe we can do better separate trucks, because it really does take. I mean, when it comes to teams, it has to be that very natural fit, and clearly it is here.
It does. A good team is a good thing. A mismatched team is not pleasant.
Right.
I had that for 1 month, and that makes me appreciate even more what Danny and I have. But God's just blessed us from the beginning. We were meant to be a team.
Yeah.
And that's why it's lasted for 29 years, and we're no signs of stopping.
I just love it. I just love the story. 6 million miles as a team.
That's true.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yes, absolutely.
Roland's really looking down over there.
Roland's got a calculator out. I don't know why that is. He's trying to figure something out, apparently. You folks are on with U.S. Express. Is that right, Cindy?
That's right. For half of our career, the last 15 years.
Really? Wow, that's terrific. You know, Danny, that's a true testament to a great organization. I mean, I will tell drivers often, first of all, don't talk to me, talk to the drivers, but talk to the drivers that have been with an organization, a long time, because they'll tell you. And I want to say U.S. Express, about the time maybe you guys came on board, was about that time they really started a pretty good growth acceleration. Is that right, Danny? They were adding some trucks about that time?
Yeah, especially in the team division.
Right.
And the first company we worked with was a small company, about 40 trucks,
Okay.
mostly hauling Coors down to Texas and
Right.
produce back up. And then we had our own authority and our own trucks.
Yeah.
So when Ingrid said it's a lot of work, I saw the look in her eye. It's like, yes, I know that look.
Yeah.
And when we hired with U.S. Express, they'd really had made a push to build up their team division. Right. And we remember when they started. We used to see those U.S. Express big fancy trucks going up the road, and when we were blowing steer tires and changing out, swapping out turbos out on the side of the road, and doing all our own work. We thought, boy, it'd be nice to have a truck that we could just drive it. And and U.S. Express trucks always looked like they were in a hurry to get somewhere. Right. They were getting things done.
Right.
So they were. We had a short list. We'd been in the industry at that time about 15 years, so we kind of knew, and we had a short list of about 5 companies that we called, and U.S. Express was the one that we decided on.
Wow. And Cindy, what is that like? You were nominated by your fleet manager. What was that like when you found out that she nominated you?
Well, it almost made me cry because we have just a little history with the Citizen Driver program. The first year that it was announced, I thought, I have got to enter Danny into this. I wrote so much out, and I missed the deadline. I found out about it right before the deadline, and I didn't know they were going to do it again. I thought it was a one-time thing. And anyway, I just never got him nominated, and then it ended up that our fleet manager nominated both of us as a team.
Right.
And that's how we've lived our life, as a team.
Right. So. Yeah. What a great story. So, in short form, you're nominating Danny. Tell the world why you would not nominate. Of course, you don't have to anymore. But if you're going to talk about, Danny in this kind of setting, what are you going to promote about your partner?
Oh, well, I am so happy to be able to tell the world. It's the everyday doing what's right. Just being such a hard worker. I am so blessed that I grew up on a farm and learned a good work ethic, because I could never have kept up with Danny without that. Right. But he just day after day, especially when we owned our own company, he was lining up loads, driving for a little bit. We each drove separate trucks. And it was a 24-hour-a-day thing. That's one thing that we really like about U.S. Express. We have just so much more time. Like he said, we're not always working on the trucks. But just the day after day, not only taking care of business, but caring about people, helping other drivers on the road, stranded motorists, just the everyday things. And you don't get honored for doing just the everyday right thing day after day.
Wow. I love it. All right, Danny, I'm going to let you reciprocate here.
She mentioned that. I think it was Lou Holtz that talked about the do-right principle.
Yeah, right.
Cindy is the epitome of that. Whenever she looks at a situation, whenever she looks at how to get things done, she wants to do it right. And whether it's harder, whether it is going to be harder on us than it is on someone else, it's not always about us. She wants to do it the right way. And and we, living in a box the size of a walk-in closet for 30 years together, we know each other really well, and running businesses together, about who's doing what paperwork. I'll do the expenses. I'll do the receivables. You do this. Just communicating with her is, to me, a dream, because when she decides that she's gonna get something done, it's gonna not only is going to be done on time, ahead of time, but it's going to be done the right way, and it's going to be done in a way that honors other people. She's just amazing about that.
Yeah, I love that. Cindy, if you're talking about your career here, 29 years as a team. What do you two do when you're not on the road? Tell us about community involvement or hobbies. What do you folks enjoy?
Well, we travel when we're at work. We travel the country, the U.S. We go coast to coast and bounce and come back. And now what we do is we travel the world, while or we are going to a race. a triathlon or a marathon that usually Danny's doing. I've done a couple with him.
Wow.
But of course, we like to spend time at home with our families. But our community is on the road, so a lot of our interactions in that way are on the road, which is where we're at most of the time.
Right. Wow. That's terrific. In terms of the key to that success, Danny, if you want to talk to another team, maybe a young husband and wife team that are, have not been out there for 29 years, what's the key to that success as a team?
Oh, as far as staying as a team?
Sure.
Well, I think that knowledge is probably the thing a lot of people are missing. We've read hundreds of relationship books. Oh golly, and we read them to each other, then talk about them. So his needs, her needs.
Right. Yeah.
The
5 love languages.
Right. Yeah.
Love and respect.
Yeah.
All these relationship books come out, and we read them and we try to apply that to our lives. Now Cindy sees all those titles. In my head, I'm seeing Chilton's for Marriage. And I may not be able to do the relationship equivalent of an overhaul, but at least maybe I could like swap out a headlight or something,
sure,
or rewire a light or something. And I think that you need to learn to communicate. You need to learn how to communicate well, and realize that a lot of times your natural way of communicating may not be the right way to avoid conflict or to express love to your partner, or to show appreciation.
Right.
So I, whenever people ask me, I will give them a reading list.
Wow, that's great. I'll give you my email in just a few minutes.
Awesome.
Tell us about your location.
We're going to do Wheat Ridge, Colorado. It's called the TA Denver West.
Nice.
Because there's 2 of them in the Denver area.
Okay.
And the reason we chose it, because of course, you get this big award, in your head you're thinking, oh, well, let's choose the biggest truck stop in the world, the Iowa 80.
Right.
Exactly. we want one with diamonds over it, and have our name written up there.
Yeah.
But what it came down to was we realized that, it's far away from our family, and, families and friends are what it's all about, and even though they're going to be putting our name on the side of it, we want it to be a blessing to everyone that we can. So we want to be able to have our friends out there to listen to music, to see the banner come down, and I guess we're going to be able to talk a little bit. I just want to give credit to the people in our lives who have really given us the work ethic that has made this possible, given us the respect for others that's made this possible, and I'm looking forward to the chance to do that.
That's great.
So we also have some history at that TA. We're from Colorado, so we started driving in Denver for the same small company, but we hauled Coors beer out of Colorado down to Texas mostly, and that TA is close to Coors. We would stop in there a lot, and it turns out that Danny's sister had worked as a waitress at that TA years ago.
Wow.
So, and
that's a great story.
It is. We have a lot of history there.
Wow.
And the co-owner of the first company that we worked for lives in that neighborhood, so she'll get to see our name on the truck stop as she drives by every day.
That's just terrific. Well, congratulations once again, and like all of the others over the years, it is well deserved. You earned it, and we can't wait to see you up there on stage tonight there at the Iowa 80, and being honored. That's just going to be terrific. But then, having your name at that location I can't imagine how great that's going to be. Again, post some pictures, put them on social media, send them out, make sure we get some of those.
# Red Eye Radio. Right?
There you go. And we would just love that, because we just love sharing the good news. That's what we love about TA Petro's Citizen Driver Awards, because it helps us do that even more. So congratulations. Thanks again for being here today, and we'll see you all down the road.
Great. Thank you, Eric.
Red Eye Radio.